Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and
this is Dee.
And we're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married for 39 years. Going on 40 years in June 28th. We'll celebrate 40 years of marriage. We were at an event yesterday. So shout out to our friend Cliftine Jones, who has an annual celebration to celebrate her mother, who was a history maker, iconic woman, who was a realtor, who was a very successful realtor. And they have this big party every year to celebrate her mother's birthday. And I go if I'm available. And she always asks me to do the same thing, saying how great thou art. Which
her
was
mother's favorite song.
Her mother's favorite song. Anyway, we were leaving. Had a great event, by the way. It was wonderful. Steve Washington is a song stylist who sings at this every year. Great singer. Anyway, this couple says they were married 3 months after us. And they're getting ready to celebrate their 40th. And they said,
next year.
And
next year. They're 39 this year.
Oh, I thought they were 40 this year.
Mm-mm.
Okay. But anyway,
they're going on a cruise.
They're going to take the family on a cruise. They
Yeah.
said, what are you planning? And I said, we're still planning.
I don't know.
We had a plan and you canceled on that one.
Yep.
So I don't know what we're doing for the 40th right now. So I'm kind of letting my wife decide. Anyway, Greg and Linda are watching from home. Evolving Minds is here. I am Blackberry Pearl. God blessings. Thank you. Faith Walking, 39 years on 12/20. Fantastic. We have a few others. Somebody just said they like the music. They like my music. Thank you for saying that. That music that we played at the beginning is from my jazz album.
I wish you would encourage him to just put it out on YouTube.
You're right. I need to.
I don't know. You keep saying, well, I got to get this. Just put it out.
All right. You're right.
You're
right.
You and your brother wrote it, right?
Yep. But we wrote the Little Things. That's what you're talking about. What they were just saying, they like the Close to You.
Well, just your music, period. Why don't you just put it out there?
Okay.
I don't know. No. You just put a qualifier.
I didn't say anything. I just said okay.
Uh-huh.
That's all I said. Anyway.
Okay, what?
Yeah, you should put it out on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Your story matters for us. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, my wife is right. Welcome to everybody. We're the Jollies, and we are the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. We encourage you to go to jolleymarriage.com. Get a free chapter if you've not gotten the book.
Communication is the chapter, and I think that's very important. You say free chapter.
Oh, well, free chapter on communication is what
yes.
you say. And I want you to watch the TED Talk, which is, again, it also is free. And if you decide to get the book, get 2 copies, one for each of you, and you read it together and then discuss it.
You know what? I realized that you say get 2 copies, read it, but the workbook is really very valuable.
Well, you're right. Your workbook extremely valuable. So many people said it really is the secret sauce.
So, okay, so you get to read the books, you each read the book because you really read it at different speeds and you can think about it separately and then you come together and discuss it. Realizing that we each draw the same conclusions, but we come at it from very different angles.
Okay.
And so the workbook would be very helpful.
I think you're right. Get the bundle. There's 2 books, 2 workbooks, audio book, and CD or seminar. Okay? Topic. When the me in the relationship outweighs the we. How do you handle a non-compromising partner? Ooh.
Okay, this is something that you like. Why don't you give the
Here's the story, backstory. And we always tell you can send us an email.
Oh, you're so smart. An email.
Not a letter, an email. I would say, send us a letter.
Electronic.
And she says,
An electronic letter.
an electronic letter to.
How about that?
That's good.
That a good compromise?
Info at williejolly.com. INFO at williejolly.com with the issue, with the concern, with something you want us to talk about on the show. So here's the issue. Wife says, my husband is sometimey. When we are out with other couples or friends, he's loving and kind and touchy-feely. Yet, when we get home, he has no time for me and says he's upset with me almost all the time.
Because?
And when I ask him why, he says, you need to do less shopping. At which point the wife said, well, that's a non-starter. That ain't going to happen. And then the cycle continues. They go out. He's nice and kind and lovey-dovey. When he come home, he's not. And then when she asks him, what's the problem? He said, I wish you would do less shopping. And she said, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
So this is just going around in a circle.
Going around in a circle. And she wants to know what they can do about it to fix it. And I have a simple answer, but I'm going to wait for you to say what you have to say. I have a simple answer.
Just stop shopping.
Well, it's not that simple. But it's leading in that direction.
The problem is...
What's the problem?
There's no compromise.
That's correct. There's no compromise. Correct.
So the bigger problem then becomes there's the communication issue. Mm-hmm. Everything goes back to communication. So you have to say, well, why? Well, if there's a problem, and he has said the problem is I'm turned off because you shop so much, and she says, well, forget that because it's not going to change. When I say there's a lack of communication, because why can't you stop shopping? Or why wouldn't you want to stop shopping if that is something that your husband or your partner finds offensive? Then I would even before that, I would have to get to what makes her shop like that. Okay.
Well,
so there are some fundamental things that need to be. It's not quite as simple as when I first heard you bring up this issue.
Okay. So let me say, can I now go ahead and give you the real deal, the simple solution?
Okay. All right.
So the first problem is, there are a number of problems here. The first problem is they don't have a money system. They don't have a money system. It's quite obvious they don't have a money system.
Well, how do you get to a money system if you're not communicating?
No, they should have created a money system in their marriage as part of setting you leave, you cleave, and you weave.
Yes.
You leave your parents.
Yes.
You cleave together and you weave a new culture.
So they never
set a system for how the money works. So,
but you can't have a system for how your money works if you're not communicating.
But they might have communicated earlier. They never set the system. And so
maybe they had a system.
Obviously they don't. The system is failing miserably. So there are chapter number 10. Money matters. Okay,
all right,
money.
You're going to go to they need 3 buckets.
That's right. Count the cost. Money matters. First thing is what's the system? Because if she's shopping with our money.
Now, how do you know that?
I said if she is shopping with our money, then that's a problem. If she's shopping with her money,
honey, why are you talking?
I want you to make it clear. I want them to hear it.
Honey,
I want you too timid. I've got to get it out. So you got 3 buckets. You got three money management systems, and it depends on age and stage of the people involved. Typically, you got the 1 bucket. That's usually out of high school or right out of college. You got nothing, and everybody puts their money in 1 bucket, and one person is responsible for writing checks. A little later in your life, you've got a car note, you got a rent or a mortgage. and usually late 20s, early 30s. Then you go to we found that to be the one where most people, a number of people use the 2 bucket, where they split the.
So it's like being a roommate. The Michelle
A
Singletary
glorified
says
roommate.
it's not a great idea.
No, one takes the rent, one takes the the utilities. One
Not a great idea.
No, so that's like a glorified roommate.
Okay.
Bucket system number 3, the three bucket, which we have had since we got married. Set it up right from the start. Here's how we will do it. I had a bank account with my checking account. She had a bank account and a checking account. I put her on my bank account and my checking account. She put my name on her bank account and checking account. And then we created a third bank account, which is our household account. Every month, we both make a deposit of money into that account. After we set a budget, what it's going to take care of household expenses. We got a budget. And then we put enough money in there and maybe a little extra to take care of the household expenses. And that way, when she want to go buy some shoes.
Why do you always say that? I
Because
haven't bought anything.
Do you got a lot of shoes upstairs?
No.
You got Uggs, every kind of Ugg there is, you got it.
That's not.
That's true.
That's not so.
I don't care about it though. I don't care because that's the money that is from her spending that she can do. I might want to go buy a tech toy. iPad, a magic pencil for my iPad, a cover. I might want to. I like. I'm a foodie. Okay, let's call it like it. I'm a foodie. She's not. I might want to go out to a nice food place that is different. That's money I take from there, and we go to a food place. I pay because I'm enjoying it. I'm a foodie. So whatever it is, it's not taking from our money. So it sounds like she's spending our money shopping. If they had a simple look, folks, whoever wrote that letter to us, set up the 3 bucket. You have an account, put her name on it. She has an account, put your name on it. Y'all have a monthly budget, and y'all make a deposit to that budget from each of you, and then you don't mess with that. That is how we've never had an argument in almost 40 years about our internal money. Not one.
He's a cheapskate.
Yes, I'm cheap. I'll make $1 holler. So I'm concerned. If she was spending our money on shoes, I'd be upset. But that ain't happened. That never happened. Okay, that's first thing. I'm not gonna tell you why I go to the shoes, but there are a lot of shoes upstairs.
The same shoes.
There are a lot of
spring
shoes.
and summer, no.
You got
some for winter.
And
as I change seasons,
and then you
always say this and think, oh, you got some new shoes.
And then you got the nerve. Let me tell you what she got the nerve to do.
Yeah.
She got the nerve to go and take a pair of shoes to the shoe man and have them colored and dyed so she have a new pair of shoes. Okay. Anyway, that's one problem. Second problem is compromise. Marriage is a exercise in compromise. You know, we talk about marriage is hard work. Well, it's not breaking bricks. It's not lifting and toting that barge. What it is working on yourself. Being willing to be giving, thoughtful, kind, and compromise. Let me read from the book, a piece on compromise. Chapter number 4, the free chapter, which you can get at our website. Free.
Honey.
Free.
Honey.
Yes, sweetie.
You're so loud.
I come from I'm passionate about this.
Okay.
Greg Gregory, I spoke at Greg Gregory said on Saturday, I spoke for the National Speakers Association, DC, and he said that was the most passionate I've seen you in a long time. I'm all fired up. That's right. Happy White. Hey. That's right, Johnny Beeson. Happy White. Vincent Reed. Hello there, my friend. Let's see. Johnny said 5 separate accounts of my wife passed 22 months ago, and I'm going forward and trying to make sense of solitude. Amen. We're praying for you and your family.
Sorry for that.
Sorry for your wife. But here's what I recommend.
Memories.
Thank God for the memories. Please, Brother Beeson, go and get the book Life After Loss
by Dietz.
Deits. Please go right now. As soon as this show is over on Amazon, is the best grief book we've ever found. we give it away by the box. People would.
Well, we used to. We don't
we
have
don't,
any
we don't
right
have
now.
any more. No.
Just our copy, but
Yeah.
Deets.
Deets.
That's
DEITS.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Compromise. Chapter number 4. Successful marriages know the value of compromise and use it often. Compromise can be achieved through consistent communication, what you said. To get to compromise, each must be willing to share why we think and feel a certain way on an issue, while the other person listens intently. The next step is for the listener to summarize and repeat back what they believe you said and ask, is that what you're saying?
LQC. Listen, question,
clarify.
Is
that what you mean? Listen and repeat until there's true understanding. The process is called LQC. Listen, question, clarify. Without effective communication and clarity, assumptions are made, and assumptions don't promote genuine understanding. The more you communicate, the better you will become at it. Whatever you practice long enough, you become good at, good or bad. And this is from D. We have worked hard over the years on our communication skills. What we have learned is that one partner needs not dominate the conversation in order for both parties to express themselves. Some individuals tend to be more talkative, and outgoing than others. While an example of that, but that doesn't mean that the quieter one is shut out. Example of this tactic was pointed out to us when Willie and I had lunch with a young couple share our marriage secrets. What they found most helpful was how Willie and I stopped talking when the other one had something to say. Willie would be talking, I would get an idea and interject, and Willie would stop. Then other times Willie would interject and I would stop. We never talked over each other and tried to have the last word. We worked together and communicate like a tag team. The young couple said if they tried to do that, they would be in World War III due to talking over each other. We shared that we learned to be a yin and yang, a yin and yang of communication. That one person with 2 mouths, we are one person with 2 mouths interjecting as the spirit gives utterance. That skill takes time, patience, and understanding of one's spouse, but it is possible and quite beautiful to experience. And it starts because we are willing to compromise. Woo-wee!
So if you're willing to compromise, you really have to remove your ego.
We go, the ego. The ego got to go. Okay, Johnny, let's see. Where's the next event? We're going to have a marriage seminar here in DC. Thank you, Johnny, for asking.
We are?
Yeah, we are. And
can I go?
Can you go to the marriage seminar? You may attend.
Could you tell me what it's going to be?
I'll let you know where it's going to be. You're so cute. You know that? You're really cute. She's a cute little thing. She turns me on. Yeah, she turns me on.
It's a lot living with him. A roller coaster. Okay, let's go back and review.
All right.
Okay, some of the things that you said. Okay.
Okay.
How do you get to compromise?
Okay.
When let's summarize. So there's issue, there's spending, turns spouse off. He's acting lovey-dovey out in public, comes home, he's turned off. Why? Because you're spending too much and you won't stop. So we're saying, okay, how do you compromise, right?
Yes.
So based upon what you said, some of the common things to do are have a non-confrontational communication, and that is hard. That's really what we're talking about, communication.
Well, it's about that, and then
first it's communication.
It's first communicating and having open and honest communication, but then listening.
I'm saying it's open and honest, but I want to stress that is really very difficult because we really don't learn open, honest communication. It is a learned thing. To not point the finger at somebody else. Open, honest.
That's why they should listen. Don't you think they should listen to our TED Talk? We tell them how to do that.
So this is how that situation of that spending makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's open and honest communication. Not you're spending all the money. I can't make ends meet. There's no money left at the end. That just makes everybody defensive.
Yep.
It makes the person who's spending defensive.
Jesse,
right?
James, Marshall said, what about San Antonio? We haven't been about doing an event there. What we're going to do, the next one, I think, going to do online so that everybody can participate all over the world. Now we got people tuning in from Greece and Paris and South Africa, tuning in all over the world on the replays and sometimes
I
live.
like San Antonio. Actually,
we do really love San Antonio.
Pre-COVID, we traveled a lot with your Get Motivated tour, and I was just part of the luggage. I would just go wherever he went. But San Antonio and the waterfront
and the Riverwalk.
The Riverwalk.
We loved it, and it was really great food, great people.
Right. But you know what? It's always cheaper to do something online than to physically have to set it up in a location.
Right. So we're going to do it online. Location. So we'll do that online. Y'all stay tuned. Thank you for that encouragement.
He's going to let
Thank you for that, Brother Beats, and encouragement when we're going to do an event. Okay.
He's going to let me know so I can
I'll let you know. Okay. So what do you do?
Open and honest communication. This is how that situation makes me feel. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. From the TED Talk. Right.
From the TED Talk. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then respect. I put in respect the differences in the individuals, which is something that we did not talk about in terms of your money mindset. So we did not really delve into why are you spending like you're spending? Mm-hmm. That might not be how we would ask the question, but we need to delve into the spending personality. Yes. And that's something we had talked about.
Yes.
In programs, in programs past.
Yes.
Because some people have no sense of what they spend. Some people are spendthrift. Does that mean cheap? Is that you?
Cheap? Me? Guilty. I love it. And I applaud it. I don't spend money wastefully. I don't do it. I'm looking for the best deal always. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes people spend money because it really does make them feel better, which is a substitute for something else. I don't know.
That's called shopaholic or shop therapy.
Shop till you drop. You know, there's still those kind of programs. People go take the bus trip. There used to be a lot of churches that would do that. Take the bus trip and everybody would go for the day to wherever
to Atlantic City,
and they would shop till they drop.
Yeah.
And now it's like you think you shop till you. What does that mean? Does that mean now you spend all your money, or you charge so much you can't pay it all off?
Right.
Before the next cycle. That's not good.
That's not good.
So you need to understand how they think about money.
Right. Brother Abisa said, where can you subscribe? You can just go to wjwow.com, sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get updates of when we're having events, or wjwow.com. You get some free goodies there as well. And then follow us on all the social media. Jolley Marriage on Facebook, Jolley Marriage on Instagram, Willie Jolley LinkedIn, and all of those will get you. And then once you're on my email, you get the updates. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so
open up friendly dialogue.
Non-confrontational
conversation.
Yes, yes. Figure out what their money mindset is.
Well, if you have the 3 buckets, though, take care of that money mindset.
No.
How do you figure out what their money when you don't know? What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean.
Talking to them.
Okay, what is that money?
You're a cheapskate. That's really great.
Yeah.
Some people.
So what does that have to do with
that might be why they spend, because they can't help it. Because
okay, but let's say you got here's what I'm saying. You got the money mindset. But here's what I'm saying. You got the money mindset. I know this woman wants to spend. I'm asking her to stop. She won't do it.
No. Maybe she can't. Is what I'm saying.
Whether she can or not, that bugs this dude that she can't. He's saying, please stop spending. And she says, no way, Jose.
I'm saying it's more complicated than that.
He has made it very clear what the problem is, complicated or not. You're going around in a circle. He said, what? She said, why do you treat me like that at home? I want you to spend less money. And she says, no way, Jose. And now that creates us. So now you're going to say, psychoanalyze her and figure out why she spends. Well, she spends because she want to spend.
I think that's an oversimplification.
Okay, but it's the problem. And that's the problem to this marriage.
We have to get to the core.
The core is they don't have a system.
And the core, she might not be.
I don't know the mites. I don't know what the might be. The might could be a million mites. Here's the bottom line.
Honey, you have to calm down.
But the bottom line is you're trying to be a psychoanalyst and trying to analyze, and you don't have all the information. She might can't help herself. She might have. She might just don't want to not do it.
But there has to be a reason why.
Yeah, because she don't want to do it. She likes spinning. She got a problem. She liked it. She liked it. She want to spin. She want to spin. She likes spinning. And he's saying that bothers me. Here's the solution. Honey. Here's the solution. There's only one solution. Solution is simple. Get a money system. Stay to the budget.
I'm not disagreeing.
And maybe she needs therapy.
Yes,
that's I don't know the reason. You guessing? Oh, maybe she can't help herself. Maybe she.
That's important to understand.
Well, she needs therapy. I don't know it ain't. She needs help. Somebody need to help her because he ain't happy. He ain't not happy. You trying to. She needs to know. He needs to know.
I'm not saying one thing to the exclusion of the other, but I'm saying if one, no, I can't. I won't stop.
She said I won't. She didn't say I can't.
It might be because.
So you go might. They go might. You don't know. That a psychologist. You are not. Okay. They say it might be she can't help herself. It might be this is her therapy. It might be
with you that they should have 3 buckets, but I'm not sure that in and of itself will solve the problem.
Yes, it will. Oh, that solved the problem. That solved the problem. She got no more money to spend. What's she gonna do? If she touched that money, that's the household money, we got a problem. Okay, let's see what Greg says. They need to learn to communicate first, then they can deal with money issues. Okay.
And part of the communication is
Johnny said we funny together. Thank you, Johnny.
And part of the communication is you don't know what her heart and what her soul is saying about how she sees money.
And I say to her, she gonna see it different when she run out, and there ain't no more for her to spend because you got a system. All right, next. The next thing is
goals.
We rather than me. Go back to Ron and Gladys Pemberton in the book. Been married 47 years. In the book, you got to read their story about how when they were newly married,
they went from a me to a we.
I got to tell the story. I got to tell the story. He likes cars. He went by the Mercedes, rode by one day. Oh, they got a beautiful car in the showroom. Went by and said, oh, Gladys would really love this. Now she's pregnant with a first child. And he buys the Mercedes and come home with this brand new Mercedes. And she says, oh my God, I got a baby on the way. You cannot make the decision without my input. And he said that day he went from a me mindset to a we mindset. He has never made a decision like that without her input. That's the lesson. You cannot have a me mindset in a successful marriage. It must be a we mindset.
Can I also say that we can set goals together?
I'm done. You can talk to them. Go ahead and talk to them. Say your little piece. That's all. We only got 2 minutes. Say whatever you want to say. It's the end of Women's History Month. Say whatever you want to say.
We need to set goals together.
All right, set a goal.
Conversations, ongoing things like, what about retirement? Have you thought about that?
She don't care about retirement. She just wants to spend.
We don't know that.
Yeah, she do. She's spending all the money.
What do you want to do about travel? Have you thought about saving? Those are reasons to have conversations. And then I did have the 3 buckets.
That's the first thing. That's first and foremost. And then you said
psychological aspect.
Seek professional help.
And then seek professional help.
Need a therapist.
And if they have to have
and a financial planner.
Yes, a therapist and a financial planner. Now, and then have a time every month where you sit and review your money. I think that's important.
Well, I don't disagree, but she has already said no, Jose. Jose.
We're beyond that.
And so I'm saying to you, Mr. Man, who wrote the letter, here's the answer for all those who want to know. The answer is number 1 is y'all set up a 3-bucket system. Number 2, you make sure you have a budget for your household expenses. Number 3, the household money is sacred money. It is not to be touched except for what you say. And look what Gladys says. Gladys Pemberton watching, and I just talked about her. She said, yes, I always remember that day. I must say, I was always the skeptic, and he believed that he could make it happen in the long run, and he was right. He made it happen, but they worked together to make it happen. Am I right about it, Gladys? And they in the book, Gladys and Ron Pemberton. You got to read their story. You got to read other stories. And our time is up because my wife took a lot of time getting to the main points, but I got to them. 1, no more me. It's we. 2, when you compromise, each one will give a little bit. All right. Yes, he did. Yes, we did. That's what Gladys said. Yes, we did. Amen. And 3, get the money system. And 4,
and the money system compromise. In this case, we suggest the 3 buckets.
The 3 buckets. And number 4,
household, your money, their money, your
money, his and ours.
The household.
All right. And then number 4 is watch the TED Talk so you can get how to not disagree. Free. Watch that TED Talk and share with everybody you know who's married. Everybody needs to watch that TED Talk. It's 12 minutes long.
And then you know what?
Save your marriage.
You need to have your money talk to sit and view, like how you pay your bills every other week, every week, however you do it. You need to do it together.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay. Now this is women. Every day is Women's History Day.
See you, Johnny. He said he got to go. Thank you. Much love.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining. Okay.
Yes.
Last day of Women's History.
Well, I'm going to talk about women because
go ahead.
In my cross. Okay. Native Americans. You know what Native Americans are?
Yeah, the people who were here when everybody.
People who were here first. Yes. Then they call them Native Americans. You know, they weren't granted citizenship in the country where they were born until 1924.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Okay.
Isn't that fascinating?
That's fascinating.
Okay. And then the first Native American cabinet member who was a member of Congress was this lady by the name of Deb
Haaland
from New Mexico. And that didn't happen until she was elected to Congress in 2018 and then became a cabinet secretary in 2020 under the Biden administration. And then I wanted to bring up something that is right here in DC, which is the Women's Democratic Club of Washington, DC, that we were actually at a function at that facility on Sunday. And that was founded in 1921, early in the political process, right as women were getting the right to vote. So women have always had to fight for their opportunities. Do you know today, women make 77 cents for every dollar that the man makes?
That's terrible. They should be paid.
So we are fighting still.
Right. I agree. Just keep fighting.
Okay, so that's my little
rant.
All
right, our time is up.
Sir.
All right, we got to go. Thank you, everybody. Our time is up. My wife has taken up all my time, and so we got to go. I hope y'all have a great week on purpose.
Thank you for joining us.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.